course, we are going to look at the introduction and definitions or the terms that are used in this course, like freedoms, rights, human, which I've already, I think, talked about them. Then we are going to look at, I've posted the United Nations Bill of Rights, the rights that were set after the World War, the Second World War. So these are called the United Nations Bill of Human Rights. Then we'll look at the Bill of Rights in Zambian Constitution, and also the responsibility of the states to ensure that these rights are kept and people are living in freedom. We are also going to look at the human rights bodies where we can be able to lodge our complaints, and we can be able to go when we feel our rights are being violated. Then there is also we are going to look at the common issue, which is the rights of the suspects, because the rights of the suspects or the rights of the prisoner and other rights that we need people to understand and people needs to enjoy. So let's move together and let's look at these rights in this course. I am Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. I'm the one who's going to take you in this course. Human rights law, it is a very wide law which has a lot of components and a lot of things to be considered. And we have to understand that there are a lot of misuse of this term also, which is human rights. Sometimes there are some things that we call as human rights which are not rights. And there are also some things that the authorities inflict on us which are not rights. So it is very important to understand the human rights. As legal counselors, the purpose of this course is to help you guide people on their freedoms and on their rights, whereby the people, they have to understand where their rights starts and where their rights end. As I said, sometimes we want to abuse what is called human rights, like because in the human rights there are freedoms that have been given, and also there are rights that have been given. So we sometimes misuse and abuse what we think are rights when they are not rights. For example, there is what is called the powers of the police and the rights of the suspects. So these both they have human rights. The police needs to be protected through the Bill of Rights, and also the suspect also needs to be protected in these rights. Same like the landlord and the tenant. So both of them, they need to be protected. The husband and the wife, and all the contrasts that we can mention, there must be the rights for every person to enjoy freedom on earth. There are also rights that we need to, freedoms and the rights like in workplaces, like the employer has got also the rights, same like the employee has got the rights. So the rights helps us to live in harmony, and also they help us to express our freedom as human beings. So the course or the study of human rights law has two major words, which is uh, the freedoms and the rights. So now we are talking about human rights law. So we have got three terms that we need to start with in definition: human rights and law. So human when we talk about human. We are talking about the humanity. We are talking about the persons. We are talking about uh, this person. And when we talk about the rights, we are talking about what they are, the rights that have been given to them, the inherent rights as a human being, which we have to express and which should help us to live in freedom. And also we look at the laws. The laws, they are there to protect us. The laws are there to punish the offenders, and the laws are there to make us live in harmony. So now when we look at human rights, we are talking about the freedoms and the rights of humans. So we have to understand that when we talk about the freedom and the rights, we are talking about the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world from birth until death. So there is no discrimination when it comes to human rights. The human rights has to be enjoyed by every person, by every human being from birth to death. So those are that is a thing that has to be understood. So the definition of human rights is the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world from birth to death. So there are there is there are terms that we need to master also in this definition. Number one, there is a term basic rights. So those are the rights that we have. Every person, the rights that they have, which should be the line, or which should be, yes, the line, the measuring line of the rights and freedoms. So these freedoms must be the freedom that has to be enjoyed by every person in the world, regardless of the race, um, regardless of where this person come from, what this person believe, what you believe in, how you choose to believe in, and so on and so forth. So all these, they are the rights and the freedoms that has supposed to be enjoyed by every person.